It is 12 minutes to 7. I always love this time on a Tuesday morning. We get to talk about history in our History Out There segment with Harold Peacock, who joins me on the line this morning with another great yarn. How are you, Harold?
Good morning. Yeah, it's a bit chilly this week, isn't it?
It's
a bit cold at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone I've talked to this morning has been saying the same. It looks like winter is definitely upon us.
But this story will fire you up, I think, and get you nice and warm.
Oh, I look forward to it. It's about the first recorded murder on the Darling Downs. Well, what happened, Harold?
Yeah, look, the story's only known thanks to John Tinker Campbell. Now, he was one of Queensland's first historians. He pioneered the Queensland beef trade with Britain, and in 1840 was the first settler on the Darling Downs. Yeah, I know, but he's forgotten today because he returned to South and Patrick Leslie stayed and grabbed the headlines. But Tinker was also well acquainted with the explorer Ludwig Leichhardt. Of course, Ludwig Leichhardt, he tried to cross Australia from east to west, but was never seen again. Tinker said that Leichhardt was hopelessly untactful with his men and believes they mutinied in the desert and escaped to Western Australia. But that's another story, Damo. Today, I'll tell you about the first recorded murder on the Darling Downs by a European settler on another European. Early in 1842, an old man named Kelly, his wife and son, aged about 21, came to Tinker Campbell's run at Westbrook, just outside of Toowoomba. They'd been hawking goods and were suspected of selling sly grog.
Oh.
Now, a policeman arrived almost as soon as they did. He couldn't find any grog, but fined them £5 for not having a hawker's licence, so he got him anyway. But further along the road at Laban, west of Warwick, the Kellys were joined by two supposed shearers, but in reality, they were bushrangers. Now, at daylight, it was horrible. The bushrangers shot young Kelly as he lay asleep. Their intention was to kill the whole family and take all the horses, drays and goods. But old Kelly rushed at them with a double-barreled shotgun.
Oh.
The killers ran off and got away. The Kellys continued south, and a party from northern New South Wales was sent up to the scene of the tragedy in hope of capturing the perpetrators. Now, one of the killers had made off south in the direction of New England and was never heard of again. The other one, who was an evil-looking little dark man with his right eye missing, at first went south and then doubled back to the Darling Downs. The excitement in the district here was huge as he was sighted at various places. Then a young man called William Barker, he was living at Eatonvale near Cambodia, just south of Toowoomba, he decided to take up the chase. He went into the bush and followed the bushranger from station to station until he arrived at Pikedale on the southern downs. That's where the fugitive had bailed up a hut keeper and taken a horse, saddle and bridle and was able to leave at pace. That's when the police had a tip-off and they went to Gatton down in the Lockyer Valley, arriving just half an hour after the bushranger had left. In an apparent rush to escape, the man had accidentally shot off the middle finger of his left hand.
Oh.
And so went to see Dr. Goodwin at Rosewood to get it dressed, but again escaped capture. Meanwhile, Barker had travelled down to Telemon's South of Bow Desert, where he had an idea that the bushranger might have headed that way because it was so out of the way. Barker gave a hut keeper there a complete description and told him the government had offered a £100 reward or a free pardon if it was a convict who assisted in the capture. Now, of course, the hut keeper was a convict, and he was very excited to get a free pardon. So, not long afterwards, a little dark man with his right eye missing and his middle finger shot off walked into the convict's hut. He was subsequently arrested, sent down to Maitland, tried for murder, convicted, and sentenced to hang.
Wow.
Now the young man, William Barker, he later became the Honourable William Barker as a member of Queensland's first Legislative Council. And so he's probably the only member of Parliament in history to be responsible for the capture of a bushranger and murderer. And it happened in the 1840s right here on the Darling Downs. But one more thing, like many politicians, he made up the inducement of a free pardon for convicts. He can't believe everything he's got to say. So I'm not sure what actually happened to the hut keeper. He must have been very disappointed.
It probably was. with the promise of a pardon, and then all of a sudden, nah.
But it makes for a good story, though, because, hey, politicians actually going to work and getting something done, it's good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the bushranger should have given up a while ago if he had a missing eye and also shot his finger off. I thought, that was it. He should have just given it away.
Yeah, he was doomed to failure in the end, wasn't he? He wasn't going to be one of these long-lasting bushrangers.
No, he certainly was. Obviously a string of bad luck. Look, that's another great story. And, of course, you like to post all of those up on your website so people can read them at their leisure.
Yeah, go online to historyoutofthere.com. And all the stories are there for you to read whenever you want and share around the place.
Fantastic. Historyouththere.com. Look forward to next week. I always love these stories. And once again, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of our history back to us in the form of this wonderful story.
Thanks, Damo. If anyone's got a story they want me to look into, just say so.
Exactly. You can email us at 4wkstudio@gmail.com, or you can also jump onto Harold's website, historyouththere.com. Harold Peacock, he'll join us again next Tuesday with another fantastic historical tale set on the Darling Downs and the Granite Belt. All right, it is time for us to take a break. Back with more in a moment.